on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Crane Kicks Lex podcast. Jessica's with us again, as always. And then we got Ben or Jerry, I don't know, one of the other. Dylan's out here making like 400 ice creams, and they all look great. Your latest creation is kind of amazing. The cereal and ice cream, love it. Even more so that it's
Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
the best cereal ever. So I mean, can't really go wrong with that.
It's probably my best one yet.
He said he's going to bring it to all the tailgates. Yeah, every week is a new batch of ice cream.
Man,
are you backing out of that? Wait,
I enjoy it so much that I could be tempted to do this.
But. Okay, we have our own little like ice cream thing out of your trunk of your car.
Yeah,
a little ice cream stand. We can have like cool little aprons. Mm-hmm. And it'd be perfect.
I know. I legit thought about getting and designing like my own stickers and putting them on them, and I'm like serious. I thought about this.
I think pretty cool.
Pretty in depth about this.
Yeah, I know. The Crank and Boom Mafia comes for you. No, it's okay. Although Jessica did used to work for them, so she probably
did actually.
She probably already informed them, so they're knocking at your door as we
Dylan's
speak.
Trying to come for your ice cream.
Insider trading or something.
Moving in. Yeah, right. For real. Yeah. Man, we got to watch 2 different soccer games, or at least I don't know. Did you guys get to watch? You got to watch, right? The men's team. Yeah, so we got to watch 2 different soccer games, and then of course I think they put it up for everybody to watch the replay. Atlanta.
Oh, they did.
You know what? I think so. I have to go back and double check. If they didn't, I don't know.
I didn't check to see, but I think they did.
If
I thought I saw that they did that.
If they did, I want to go back and try and see if Goodrum's shot bounced in the goal, because I think it deflected into the goal.
That was nasty. Hey, but I mean, I just got to say before we get into all that, Atlanta completely clutch for delivering a stream of the match, and it was a good stream.
Yeah,
it was better than ESPN Plus.
And honestly, replays.
Yeah,
honestly, it was like better than some of the like game streams we get.
Yes. It was infinitely better than most of them. Like, it was such good quality, and for a preseason. And
I know. I was like
in between.
It felt weird to think that it was only a preseason because of like the quality of the stream.
Right. Although I hated like the commentators being like, "Yeah, did you see our team dunk on them?" And I'm like, "Oh, whatever. I'll forgive it because your stream was so good, and I got to watch anyway. So I'll give you a pass this time, Atlanta." But no, we had the preseason match. The women's team is back in action. We got to break all that stuff down. Let's last week we started with the women. I want to talk about the men's match. I mean, we're going to do the disclaimer. We always have to do the disclaimer. It's preseason. Like, don't get all riled up. I know a couple people I saw were being like, "Man, they stomped us 4-0." It's like, it's preseason. And there's caveats to that too, right? It's not just like we went out and played like a League 2 team and got beat 4-0. It was a tough competition for sure. This matchup, I was kind of curious to see if Atlanta was going to throw everything they had at us, or if it was going to just be like, here's our like Atlanta 2 squad. Because you never know. That's happened a lot in the past for our preseasons where they'll advertise, "Oh yeah, we're going to play this MLS team," when in reality that MLS team is the 2 squad that they just roll out against us. Clearly, that wasn't so much the case this time. At least not completely Atlanta 2. Miguel Almiron, out there.
like recently removed from the Premier League.
Yes, I know. I saw him in that lineup, and I was like, dang it. If anybody's going to score, it's for sure going to be him. And yeah, he got a brace. So, I mean, respect, though. If you're going to get scored on, at least it's somebody that's played in the Premier League, like played at the highest level. Still is at the top of their game. So, you know, not terribly upset. At least there's that. It's not like we just got scored on by a scrub. So it was still tricky to watch them drop 4 goals on us.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Yeah. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't a pretty match for us.
Yeah, it was definitely a warm-up, right?
There were some players who looked, good. I don't want to say like anyone looked great because of obviously the score and overall, but there's some players who looked good. Like Malloy looked worth the money for sure.
Oh yeah,
Passing,
Malloy was on.
his pass was like nuts. They're just like, I don't know. It's just fun to watch him get the ball at his feet and see what he can do with it.
Yeah.
He was really on point. Good room. Just like his instinct alone was worth the money. Him out there was really quality. The defensive back line, woo wee, that was bad.
Yeah. Let's like do this before we get too deep into it. Like, what was our starting lineup? Somebody got that pulled up.
Yeah, go ahead. Real quick. Sorry.
No, you're good. Just get some grounding. So we had Oliver Simmel in the goal, right? So first time that we got to see him in action. Jacob Green is in the back line. Arturo Ordonez, Kendall Burks, and then we had a trialist, another named trialist. Which he was clearly around in the last game because we had a picture of him with the sweet mustache game that he had going on. Dylan, not spelled like our
correct way. Yeah, he spells it like wrong.
Dylan. Spelled the other way. Well, one of like the 16 ways I've seen Dylan spell. But yeah, Dylan Akau, Blaine Ferry was starting, Aaron Malloy, Nick Firmino, Marcus Epps, Michael Adedekin, and Philip Goodrum. So whenever we were doing like our starting lineup, saying like who might start, this feels pretty close to like the actual starting lineup. I know we had some disagreement about, who would be goalkeeper one. Like a lot of us were like, it might be Brooks, but and maybe it is. I don't know. Oliver's in goal, so who knows? And then of course we have a trialist as one of our outside backs. That was, I don't know. We got to test the waters on that, right? And see who's going to do what. That's the whole point of having these trialists in preseason, because hopefully you strike gold and get like a Sarah Griffith. This lineup feels like, again, it was probably the closest to what our starting lineup would look like, minus a couple of changes here and there, right? Like we assumed, Blessing would be in the starting 11 whenever it's the real deal and stuff, but he was for later in the game. When you see this starting 11 go out there, you're hoping to see at least some goals, right? But again, Atlanta came out strong. So I don't know. Dylan, you were talking about Goodrum doing well. Get back into your flow, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to give people.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say the back line was obviously, not great. The trialist did not have a good run of things. And I think Green didn't really have that good of a performance either. Really, like our outside backs were kind of like our weak points. They were kind of getting beat, and then, not that the center backs played stellar or anything, but I just feel like if you're looking at the game as a whole, we got beat more on the outside than the inside. And just, man,
yeah,
we got a lot of work to be done, but it's preseason. It didn't feel like it felt pretty bad considering like we won the other one, and like it was really exciting. But obviously, it's a preseason game, so it's like, all right, it's this is why you play the game, to get beat really bad, so you can look at the tape and be like, what did we do wrong, and not have people in those positions and stuff like that. So
I'd agree with that. It was interesting too that this actually took a normal format. Because we talked in the last episode about how a lot of preseason matches, they're like, we're going to play 15 and then we're going to play 30, then we're going to play 70 and then we're going to play another 15. And this one was just straight up 45-45. It was two halves, which is kind of nice because then you feel like, okay, who's in their flow? Yeah, it feels more normalized. I 100% agree with you about Aaron Malloy. I feel like he did not have any preseason rust. Like if he did, it was minimal. You know what I mean? Like got a little like rust hidden on his pinky finger or something, and you just got to shake that off because he was doing so good. And it was real interesting to see him operate. I think we were talking about this at one point, like how he might be one of those defensive midfielders that's going to drop into the back line. And he did that a whole lot. And he especially did it for distribution purposes. So that was really cool to see him in action doing his thing, because the moment he dropped back there, got a hold of the ball, it was right to who he wanted to go to. Like you said, his distribution was nasty. That Goodrum almost goal, Jessica.
I think it was.
You think so? It was so fast, and I didn't go back and watch. It was
based on the replay. It looked like it bounced off like the bottom part of the crossbar and kind of spun in, hit the inside of the goal. But based on how the ball was spinning, that's why it bounced out. So I think it was in. I think it was all the way in.
Yeah.
Like, not like, oh, it doesn't count because there was like this much over the line or of the ball over the line. I think it was fully in. That's just my opinion.
I don't know. It's really hard to tell. And I think the only way to really tell on those is like a top-down angle, because like just the way the ball is shaped, when you're looking at it from a certain angle, it could look like it's over the line or not over the line, just depending on where you're looking at it from. So I don't know. It was really hard to tell.
It was.
We're saying, if Atlanta United release the aerial footage from the goal line view, do it. Don't hide it from the people. we know what happened that day.
Release the files.
No, if anything, that was a baller shot that he took.
Yeah.
Like, in or not, goal or not, like it was a heck of a strike. And to think that it was just off by like, man, I don't know, quarter of an inch, and you're probably talking a goal. That was sick.
Jessica, did his performance in the preseason game make you excited about him being, a signing for us?
Yes, but I think because I don't know, I feel like Atlanta kind of, because they dominated, it was hard. I feel like we didn't get as many chances. So I feel like in that sense, it's also kind of hard to get a good like well-rounded view of the performance in that sense. But yeah, I would say overall, like, yeah.
For me, it felt like, even though he didn't have that many chances, he was in the right positions at the right time.
That's true.
Right.
He's got good striker instincts. Tyler, how do you feel about him and the situation?
I mean, I very much agree with Jessica. We struggled to make things happen offensively.
Yeah.
It just felt like we were on our heels a little bit too much, and so it was hard to get a feel for what he could really do. What I saw, I really, really liked. I think that we, spent smart money on him. It's so difficult to get a full picture of who we are, because number one, the quality of the opponent. We can't stress that enough, that they were playing like MLS starters, and I know some people are like, well, it's closer than you think. Yes, I get it, but again, like players like Miguel Almiron just came out of the EPL. Like, I mean, he's quality enough to have been playing regular minutes in the EPL. Like, it's tough. You're gonna have challenging opponents, and a little bit more established club that's used to one another. Our defense definitely was getting shredded. It almost reminded me of that Oakland game with Wilson, where Wilson would just take off. And our defense was scrambling to stop him from like cutting through and then scoring. That's what their attackers were doing to us, especially Almiron, right? And so that transition, those transitionary moments were just not as clean as you would hope from it. And then I also noticed with like our attack, it was very lopsided. And maybe it was just me, maybe I wasn't really, catching the moments on the right, but it felt like everything was trying to go through the left and then cross in, go through the left, cross in. Yes, it was like every single time. It just felt like it was constantly left, cross in. Right was there, but almost more like cleanup crew. If the ball happened to fall over to the right-hand side, they would take care of it. And I just felt like that made it real easy for Atlanta to accommodate for what we were trying to do, because it was just like, well, they're just going to try and go up the left. So somebody just make sure you're on a Dadekin and shut it down, and they're going to cross it into the box. So make sure you're ready for that. And I think if we had varied things up, maybe it would have been a different game. But it's also just for testing, right? This is all just to see what works. And so maybe that was the instruction. Like, for this, we're going to work on trying to send it in from the left and doing our thing. And maybe Orlando we're sending it in from the right. We don't know. We didn't get to see that game. I just think that the quality of opponent can excuse the performance. And plus it's preseason. That also excuses it. Like I'm not up in arms about what happened by any means, and I don't want anybody to take it this way, but I do think it's very clear that we learned a lesson that we have to work defensively and get sharper there. Like we cannot be caught in transition, scrambling to stop these strikers coming through. Like, there are talents in the championship that will definitely make us pay if we do not come in more polished. Luckily, we have several more games to get polished before we have to worry about Lou City, but they are one such team. They are a team that has the talent. I know they just lost Goodrum because we picked them up, but they have a really strong supporting cast, even the players that they've been bringing in. So we have to be on our A game for that. But I think that was probably the biggest lesson for this. I mean, the goal that hurt my feelings the most was probably the third one. If I remember right, I think it was the third one where, Oliver's trying to cover the near post and the ball sent across to a runner and there's nobody following the runner on the far post and the guy just buries it.
Yeah.
Because you can't do anything about that as a keeper. Like you got to cover where the ball is and you're counting on your defense. Yeah. And so just moments like that where it felt like somebody somewhere wasn't on the same page as everybody else. I think that'll settle. I think that we'll see everybody kind of get their minds right and say, okay, like I'm more used to what you expect from me in these moments and what we're doing here because it's so early in the game. But yeah, I think this was definitely a learning opportunity situation. Our second half wasn't bad, but that was more like their second tier against presumably mostly our second tier, not necessarily fully, right? And again, we can't sit there and say like for sure the first 45 was our like lockdown starters and for sure the second 45 were our backups, but it felt that way for the most part, minus a couple of exceptions here and there. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I just thinking of the lineup as a whole. I know one thing we talked about that we were excited to see is the Malloy Ferry combo. Yeah. And so I think one thing I gained pulled from watching the game was kind of affirming that and be like, okay, yeah, they're a really good pairing. I'll be interested to see if Ketterer has recovered because it seemed like he had I didn't see exactly what happened, but I happened to come back just seeing that he was down for a little bit, but I'm hoping that doesn't affect his ability to play too much.
Yeah, that was like rough because the attacker went to kick at the ball as Ketterer slid and kicked out at the ball, and then they connected. And it looked like the guy kicked Ketterer right in the shin. Must have got him real good because the guy was okay, but it must have been like shin guard to shin guard. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it than that, but it looked like he was clutching his shin afterwards. So I don't know. I hope he's okay because you never want anybody to get injured. I hope that he's doing fine. You don't want to go down a player early in the season. We had that happen a couple seasons ago where we lost somebody in preseason straight out of the gate. So I hope that he's on the mend or wasn't near as bad as they thought. But yeah, would have been cool if we got a little bit more of a look at Ketterer. I did think it was interesting that presumably we were just going to go with Oliver and Logan for the entirety of the match. And then Brooks seemed to be number 3 in this scenario. Mm-hmm. Again, it's just preseason and that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that he is number 3, but definitely raises some questions on all the speculation that we had last week about who's GK1. And maybe it's just not decided at this point, but yeah, it's very interesting to think what that all means. I don't know. Got to piece it all together. Charlie Day style. Have my board behind me and pointing to all the evidence. This happened this day and this, So, yeah. I mean, it's hard to say that this was like overall, like, yes, I feel amazing going into the season situation. I definitely don't think anybody would call it that. I will say I feel good that at least we got punched in the teeth in this situation against a strong opponent. And this is a great way to be like, if we play opponents that are this strong with these types of players, now we know what we got to figure out. Now we know what we got to clean up. So that's the win out of this. You know, it's hard not to get wrapped up, right? Because as much as I'm sitting here being like, hey guys, preseason doesn't matter. It's okay.
Right.
Just don't even worry about it. There is that like piece of me that's like, it definitely matters, Tyler. Like everything matters. We have to win every single game ever to show everybody our dominance. And yeah, that's just not realistic. But I trust that Coach Mack will bring out the best in this crew. We got a lot of great guys. It seems like a lot of our acquisitions are players that have been very like team first in the past for the most part. I think that Mac thrives with those types of players. I think that he'll kind of get them all on the same page. They'll get each other on the same page. We have some more preseason action that's going to help us get a better view, even though we don't get to see any more games until the very last one. But we'll still hear things. Thankfully, the club is now cool about putting out rosters, at least for like the first 45 or first whatever that we're playing. I think that that's been a really, really welcome addition to all of this. It has been incredibly amazing to have that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens next time against another opponent. We got a few more. We got like one Knox. Who else we got? Nashville. We got Fort Wayne. Is that everybody? Everybody?
Are we playing UK too? The UK men's team? I thought I saw something about that somewhere.
UK posted about that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, so which wasn't on our post, which is very interesting. So those are always tricky whenever those things happen, because then it very well could be like the academy team, and they just don't specify. Which that I wish we would not do. I wish we would not do the Lexington Sporting Club versus. And I guess technically it wasn't us, it was UK, but like I wish that teams would specify and be like, hey, it's actually academy, or hey, it is the pro team, because we've done that in the past where we've put out like our preseason slate of games and then we've changed up who we're playing, or like we've added in like a little sneaky game. There have been a couple seasons where like there are some games that never would have seen the light of day. Like nobody would have ever known about it. And then like, you know, somebody in the Railbirds heard about it, or like we heard about it, and I was like, hey, did you know we actually played this team? And be like, what? And I don't think this one was meant to be under wraps, but it's very possible that they're like, you know what? Let's do this. We always play UK. Let's do it again. Interesting. Interesting indeed. But yeah, we got a few more to test the waters. So we'll see what goes down. Hey, speaking of thinking about like academy and all that, before we transition to talk about the women's, unless you guys have final thoughts about the men's team and the match. No, we're good. I don't know that anybody has like really caught on to this or not, but it stands to be talked about that I guess we no longer will be participating in USL2 or USLW, either one. So
really?
if you were somebody that really enjoyed the USL2 or USLW action, that is no longer going to be a part of our system.
Interesting.
Yeah. So now it's all academy based. So we're going to be running academy, and so we'll still see like the U20s play and stuff, but we will not be part of the USL2 or W, which a lot of that, from things I've heard or speculated on, it's probably because of the supposed possible changes that the NCAA is going to enact with, you know, the structure of the collegiate soccer season. You know, that probably makes it pretty tough for a lot of League Two teams to operate that utilize collegiate talents. So, yeah, RIP Lexington Sporting Club, USL2, USLW. Who knows? Maybe it'll come back sometime in the future. It'll be revived.
When did they announce that? Did they announce it? Or I guess quietly post about it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The only evidence you have of it is that USL2 and USLW put out what teams are participating, and we are not amongst them. We are not amongst those at all. So I think it was one of those, just so sad that we're just not going to make a big deal out of it. We're just going to hide our pain, bury it down deep forever.
Oh, I guess one other thought before moving on to the women is I wonder when they're going to do a kit reveal.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Do we have any speculation on what that might look like?
Green.
I hope. Oh my gosh.
I really do. I really do hope that we start out by saying, like, you know what? Here's a green kit for the men. Let's go. I know they gave us 2 technically last year with or this year. You know what I mean? The calendars are weird with the women's team because we had like the training top and then we had the official kit.
Right.
But let's get a green men's kit in there.
The men need a green kit.
Yes. And then we'll see what we can do as far as making something outside of the box. Let's just go nice green, nice, clean, awesome green. Like I hope that they also like learned from, you know, all the feedback for like what we wanted for the women's kits, or even like how so many people like the USL 2 kits that they put out last year. I know they weren't green, but I feel like they did a really nice job with like the colors and the patterning. And, you know, sometimes you just got to keep it nice, simple, do your thing right.
Make sure you can see the letters and numbers on the back.
Yes. Yeah. Cause I mean, I'm a big crazy kit type of dude. Like I like the wacky ones that are really bold and stand out there, but I actually am very much on board for just a clean, simple, nice looking green kit, maybe some like white accents or something. I don't, you know what I mean? Something to make it pop.
I'm all about that.
Classic field. Yeah. Just that's what I'm kind of vibing with right now. But I mean, I'm sure they already have it in production or in mind what they're going to do. Like there's no way that they're still fumbling around trying to decide what it's going to look like. But I think that would be what my vote would go for.
Right.
It would just always be nice to have like one classic green kit like every season. Like this is like our standard. We have a green kit every year. It may be like a little variation of a shade of green or something like that. It may be, you know, different design, but we just always have, you know, like, you know, all the big teams always have the same, you know, like one color every year. And then we could do the wacky ones for the alternates and the away kits and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Plot twist, the home kit is just the UK kit.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. No, that won't be it. I know they'll put out another one. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, guys.
I mean, but I feel like I feel like they did so well and knocked it out of the park with the women's kits that I feel like the men and the men's have just, I mean, I'll say other than the icicle kit, because it was really popular, it did sell really well, but it's not green.
Yeah. I know. That's what I'm wanting. You know what I mean? That needs to be like the home kit this year for us. And then we get, you know, the away whites or whatever you want it to be. I guess we can do another crazy color if we really, really want to. But and then like a third wacky, you know what I mean? With character, with soul, with like this is, you know, the city. That would be pretty sick, I think. I know. I don't know. I don't know what that third would maybe be.
I could see them doing another UK themed one.
Yeah.
Honestly, because of how well the icicle kit did, I could see them doing another third that's UK themed. Especially with the partnership.
I want them to do a cherry blossom kit because there's
what I
really
want?
good cherry blossoms in the spring here in Lexington.
True.
Yeah, especially in the cemetery for sure.
Yeah. Sure.
I want a Kentucky Thoroughblades kit.
Oh,
I want a Kentucky Thoroughblades kit. I want a Kentucky Thoroughblades kit.
That would be so sick.
Jess, do you not know about the Kentucky Thoroughblades? They crafted my childhood.
I mean, I didn't grow up in Kentucky.
Neither did I, but I know about the Thoroughblades.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm not cool, apparently.
And the color scheme is peach because it's that Charlotte Hornets color scheme. Like
it's that teal.
I'm looking it up.
Teal and purple.
Yes.
Oh my God. How hard would that go if we had a third kit that was Thoroughblades colors.
It's like classic 90s. Oh man, it's so
hockey.
I would buy one in every size, so that way in every stage of my life, as I grow and shrink as a human, I can always wear it.
What are you, Benjamin Button?
When I Googled it came up as
just a big fan of wings.
When I Googled it, one of the links is vintage ice hockey, is like from vintageicehockey.com.
Yeah, because it's like OG, like lower division hockey.
Okay.
Oh man, and it's even a horse too.
Yeah.
I know we couldn't use the logo. I'm sure there's some weird rights along with that, but like the colors alone would be so sick.
The colors are the same colors of like the styrofoam cup.
Yeah.
You know,
purple and blue.
Oh man.
90s Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's true.
God damn.
That's what we're doing. Somebody at the club, please make it happen. I'll give you naming rights to my next dog or something. I'm not having any more kids, so it's next dog. I'll give you naming rights for that. Okay. Or you can name Dylan's next ice cream. I don't care.
I'll name
it the Thoroughblade, Kentucky Thoroughblade.
Or you can rename Austin. Jessica's husband. You can rename Austin.
I don't think he'd go for that.
If it was cool enough, I'm sure he would. Austin
maybe
it's cool. You know, you could still call him Austin, but like legally, he would have to sign whatever it happens to be. Oh my gosh! I'm lost in this now. Now that's all I can think about. I'm gonna lay awake at night tonight, being like, will somebody at LSC make a Thoroughblades themed kit or just color scheme? It doesn't even have to reference the Thoroughblades. I just need the color scheme. Oh my gosh! Whew. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting lost in this right now. That's
I don't know if you guys can see it, but Tyler's sweating right now. It's crazy.
I'm sweating. I'm like the Key and Peele meme where he's like sweating profusely thinking about this kit. Yeah, no doubt. But we'll see. I'm sure like soon-ish. Not really that soon, but like, I mean, we always find out the week of our first match what the kit's looking like. I always wish like we'd get it a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just soon enough to like contemplate truly like, do I want to get this kit? And then you get it and you have it ready for the game, especially with Lou City. Because you don't want it to be.
Yeah, I do want to have it before the first home game.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to be ready and waiting. So it's we'll see what happens with that. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what we put out. All right. Let's talk like the return of the women's team. What the heck? The start of the Coach Kos era. Oh my gosh. Kostya Kimura, you got us that 3-1 dub to start things out, and I'm so psyched. You know, this game, I'll just start by saying like the quote was real cool. Very humble of him. It was very much like, hey, we've been doing the right things this whole time. I just made minor tweaks, but like this team knows what they're doing. I just came in, made a couple of changes that I wanted to try out, and this is the result that we got. But the hard work's always been there. It's essentially what he said, right? And that was a cool quote, you know, and I really enjoy that because very grounded, you know, and that's what I'm hoping from him because that's what we saw from Mac, and everybody was talking about how him and Mac are real close, and that's just my favorite type of coach. You know what I mean? Real human being, grounded, not too lost in it all. Because it's very easy to get lost in this, you know. You come back and it's been a break, first game in charge, and you lay it on a team away.
Right.
3-1. So this game, okay, I wasn't really sure what to expect because we've had a couple of new acquisitions over the break. We've had some players that, you know, you wonder, they've kind of flirted with the starting role a little bit here and there, but not necessarily locked it down whenever Coach Mac was in charge. And, you know, of course, they're two different people, right? Coach Mac, Coach Kos, as similar as they might be as far as like their mentality of the game, there are going to be differences. And I think that we saw that on display with this match, first and foremost with the lineup, right? So I think like probably the most notable changes to the starting 11 whenever we look at this is probably going to be that Kinsey is starting, which isn't that crazy. We've seen Kinsey and Sarah and Mina kind of rotate, right? So it's not really that absurd. That's one of those ones where you're like, oh yeah, okay, cool. But it is worth noting Kinsey was starting in this one. Griffith was on the bench for this one. And then, of course, we have Shay Moyer starting. She's had a couple of starts this season, but not had starts like she did in year one. So it was cool to see Shay back out on the field with a starting spot, because I think Shay has done phenomenal and has earned that for sure. And then, of course, we've got one of our newbies in the mix, Reagan Steiglider. Right, I hope I said that right, Reagan Steiglider. I think that's right. I watched the video over and over again. I was like, it's Steiglider, right? But she played out in the left back position, which, we've seen Hannah Johnson pretty much be the person that's locked down that spot. We've had a couple other people fill in there, but it never really felt like there was truly okay, you're second in that spot. You know what I mean? It just felt like, okay, well, right now I'm going to ask us to kind of play where we've got Maddie Perez there, or now I want to have Cassie Rohan there, or you know what I mean? It was just kind of like a little bit of an experiment if it wasn't Hannah Johnson. So it's very interesting to me to see that we have a newcomer to the team immediately slot in. And last episode, we were talking about her coming to us from KC Current and not seeing a ton of time. But again, we talked about how Kansas City is a very competitive team. And so even if you're not seeing a lot of minutes, you're still training at a high level with a high level team. And whatever minutes you do see are going to be quality. So I think that maybe that played a role. But what are you guys' first impressions of these changes to the lineup that Coach Kos decided to make to start up this second half of the season?
I thought it was a really good lineup. I was really interested to see what Reagan did in that starting role, especially, as a new addition. But I feel like, Mackenzie is starter worthy for sure already. And I feel like Shay is definitely starter worthy for sure. So to see this lineup, I feel like might be one of our best, if not the best lineup. And the performance of all these people on the field at the time together, led to, multiple scores and didn't allow a goal. We only allowed a goal after we made some subs. So I think when this core was on the field, good things happened. And I just think there was a really good game plan as well. There was quite a few chances on goal, especially really early in the game. So I don't know. I was a big fan of it.
Yeah. I didn't realize until the game had started and we were really going in it as it was progressing, how much pressure it felt like there was on this game. Because first game with Coach Kos, coming out of 4 straight draws, it felt like we needed this win. And I didn't realize just how much pressure I personally was putting on this match. But I'm pretty sure other people were as well. And I think in the post game, I think it was did they do a post game? I don't know. Either way, or maybe it was the quotes that you'd gotten from the team, but that basically one of the players saying we came into this game after 4 draws and we were just done. We're done with draws. We need to raise our standards higher than that. And draws is now just no longer good enough. And so I think that that played a role in that. But also Kenzie, as far as the lineup goes, you could tell she just brought so much energy and fire.
Oh, yeah.
We just laid on
lots
the
of
pressure.
speed.
Yeah.
She's a demon out there.
Yeah, we just laid the pressure on thick. And so I really like that as far as the lineup goes. Not saying that Sarah Griffith doesn't, but they both have their strengths in that sense of what they bring to the offense. I definitely agree with kind of Dylan touched on it that once we did make the substitutions, I feel like it did shift a little bit towards Fort Lauderdale. And things started to kind of fall apart a little bit, and it didn't feel as clean. So definitely a fan of the starting lineup, though. I think it was great. I think if we were to make, if I would want any changes, it would possibly be around the substitutions. And I feel like in the past, on that note, the substitutions have been more like for like, like subbing out offensive player with an offensive player. And I think this time around it was it kind of like 50-50. I mean, Griffith came in for Ekich, but then subbed in Toddy for Kat. And so I think there was a little shift in the strategy there in that sense. But
agreed.
And then later in the game, Hannah Johnson for Kinsey Weinert. So I think shifted a bit towards the defensive side of things.
100%. And I agree with you guys. I really don't know what I would do different to this lineup, except for like occasionally keep that cycling going with Griffith, Weinert, and Ekich to keep them fresh. Because I do think that has been really effective for keeping them in the mix. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're all just so good that you can literally just keep rotating, and then they're all ready to go each time. And I love what they bring to that position. So, I don't have any complaints outside of that. I was really impressed with Kinsey Weinert. Like you already pointed out, guys, like she was insane, especially like the first 25-ish minutes.
Yeah.
She was relentless. I was like, how is she running that fast and that hard that much?
Yeah.
And you could just see
they had no answer for her.
Yeah.
What do we do? You know?
Yeah.
Please no more. And she would still be running at him. And she was so aggressive. And I loved it. You know what I mean?
And control.
She was just like, yes. Oh yeah. Aggressive in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't backing down for anything. Like she was insanely hungry. And honestly, you saw that out of so many of our players. I thought I don't know, maybe it's just how I'm feeling, but I don't know if Amina got enough love in general. Maybe the team, the club pointed it out pretty decently, but each of the 3 goals she was directly involved with. Like each of those 3. First is the nasty steal, the interception in midfield, and then dribbling through players and the vision to find Kinsey making that run for the first goal, which I love that first goal because literally the keeper's like, I'm here, I'm going to stop it, and you can't score. And Kinsey was like, no, I'm going to deflect it off of you. I'm just going to kick it at you, and it's still going to go in, just so you know.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. But then the other 2 goals, the first one with Kat, Amina takes a shot, and I know it wasn't like a pass or anything like that, but she had the audacity to take a shot from far out, and then Kat was there. She is so great about her positioning that she was able to clean up and get a goal off of that one. And the other one, Amina was, again, dribbling through everybody, took an insane hit. That would have for sure been a PK if we hadn't scored. And if it wasn't going to be a PK, I don't even know what we're doing because she got taken out. The girl slid straight through her ankles and sent her sideways. And luckily the ball fell to Kat and we scored anyway. But
Kat hit that ball like it owed her money too.
Oh yeah,
it was a rocket.
Blasted it. But Amina doing all the things that she did, it was just crazy, right? Because we're used to everybody equating success for somebody like Amina with how many goals is she scoring. But I think what we're seeing in our setup is how much she sets things up for everybody else, just even from her own actions, even if she's not necessarily passing the ball intentionally to somebody, just the fact that she does the things that she does, it's going to create those opportunities just by default. Right. Which congrats to her, by the way, as well. She's the first Super League player to get double-digit assists in the league. So she managed that in this past game, which is huge. She just had a great game. And then, Kat's instincts, cleaning up those 2 shots, doing her thing, that is so good. So good. Because if you don't watch soccer a lot, don't know much about the game, you're going to look at that and be like, well, it just fell to her. That didn't just fall to Kat. She was in a great spot both times, and she was ready for whatever was going to happen because she's just such a talented striker. I mean, I could go on about all these players. You know what I mean? It just was such a good, well-rounded performance, especially with the starting 11. I agree with you guys. Once we started making changes, things got a little bit sweaty, to steal one of Dylan's phrases. He got a little bit sweaty, not in the good way, like thinking about a Kentucky Thoroughblades kit. Sorry, I had to plug that one more time. But like, I'm shameless. But for real though, I think we did fine, and I think maybe even the tactics moved towards being a little bit more defensive and just being like, hey, just absorb. But Hamid was just ready for a goal. And I think that she was like, well, you can only absorb so much before I make this happen. And it was unfortunate, but is what it is. 3-1.
I feel like Hamid is a good player, but I feel like she plays kind of dirty. Like, I don't know. There's just something like about her tactics that rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I agree that she definitely embellishes a tiny bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if I'd say it's like straight up dirty, but I will say I think it's different when you are rooting for a player versus rooting against, because she does remind me of some strikers that we've had where, like maybe they fall down a little too easy. Maybe there's a little bit too much like, well, they touched me. But also on the same vein, she definitely was dishing it back. And it's like,
she was for sure.
It's like, well, you can't really complain that much if you're going to also be hyper aggressive. You know what I mean? Like it's just the nature of the game. I think her and Weinert were having a little bit of a tussle, like toe to toe in some periods of the match where it was like, oh, you nudged me off of that, or you did this. Let's see what happens now. So that was kind of fun to watch.
Well, because wasn't the yellow Kinsey got from the foul against Jasmine?
I believe so. I think it was against.
Which I felt like was a really soft yellow.
Yeah, I think if I had to guess, I think it was just the culmination of them constantly going back and forth with each other. And then finally the ref was like, stop. Don't do it again. Like, you guys got to chill out. Because they definitely were competing with one another pretty hardcore.
Heavily, yeah.
Yeah. But I thought it was a fun battle to watch, personally. I thought it was really, really cool. What did you guys think about Reagan in general? Thoughts on her?
She did a good job. I feel like her and Hannah Johnson, I think Hannah Johnson does really well as well. But I think if like comparing the two, I feel like if either of them are starting, I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, we're good. I'm confident in both their abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the same, where like I didn't see anything to put me off of her. But I didn't see anything to like say that she should definitely be the starter. So if she started again and got some more minutes, and maybe we could figure out if it's her or someone else, that's fine with me. But
I'd agree with that. I think I need like a little bit more time to decide for sure, because I'm with you, Jessica. Like, I'm cool with Hannah Johnson being out there. I'm cool with Reagan being out there. I mean, Reagan had a great game though. That's
right.
That is there, and Hannah's had several great games herself. So I think that's really nice. That's very comforting to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's put us in a nice spot where we're like, oh, left back position is got some depth. We're okay. This is good. And of course we have other players that have filled in those roles in the past too. A couple quick things for Reagan. She had 86.2% passing accuracy, which is pretty solid. She won 4 duels. On the attack, she created 0 chances, but she had a shot on target and a shot off target. So she was taking some shots. which is good. You love to see that from your outside backs. And then she had 3 clearances and 3 interceptions off of this. So it's a pretty solid game for an outside back, honestly. And I thought she did really, really good defensively, really like shoring up those outside areas. So I'm excited to see more from her. I think that we probably will too. I am very curious if we see a little bit of like that rotation, like what we're seeing with, Griffith and Ekich and Weinert. I wonder if we'll see some of that with Reagan and Hannah. Yeah. Although I don't think it'll be quite as often, right? Because you really don't. Most coaches don't like messing with your defense too much. I mean, if you do, it's going to be your outside backs. But even still, you're not going to be like, well, this game you, now the next game you, now the next game you. It'll be like stretches. But I think it'll be cool that they're going to compete with one another and keep each other sharp, if anything else. So it's good luck. It's very encouraging to bring somebody in and then feel like, okay, they're an immediate impact player.
I definitely agree where it could be like a scenario where they just kind of switch maybe. I mean, the outside back position can be pretty intensive with like how much action you get running down the field. And so it may be just with the amount of games that they have where, Reagan could be filling in left back or maybe even right back in a different scenario if someone needs some time off, something like that. It could be just one of those things.
Very much so. I would agree with you on that one. These types of matches, though, where you come off of a break and you go away and you seal up the win, we've felt like, I don't know, the energy was just on something different for this match. And I'm feeling really good about our upcoming matches based on that. I just don't know that I've ever seen a team come out of a break with that much fire. It just, you always kind of expect a little bit of rust, and there was almost zero.
Yeah.
Discernible rust from the players.
Felt good.
Yeah. I know. It's almost like Coach Kos was like, look, guys, if we win this one, Dylan's going to make everybody custom ice cream.
I know. I was actually kind of thinking maybe I should rebrand it to Cat Berry Crunch.
Berry Crunch.
Yeah.
Well, if you use like Captain Crunch, but then think about frozen Captain Crunch tearing up the roof of your mouth. So,
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Maybe
I think
I'd
probably strain it though.
Yeah.
Could soak it, or like soak the milk. Yeah. Like soak it all and then like blend it.
Yeah.
I know what you were saying. I know what you were saying. It's yeah, you're good. Soak the milk. I know what you meant.
Oh gosh, whatever.
Yeah, soak the cereal in the milk. I knew what you were going for. I'm with you. We're talking in shortcut. That's all that was, Jessica. Like everybody else is out of the loop, but we're all talking in shortcut right now. So.
Back to soccer.
We get it. Yeah. What's more soccer than cereal and ice cream? But yeah, like I don't know, you guys. Like that for me was more convincing of the Coach Kos era than the win. The energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That for me was like, whoa, all right. We're coming out playing this hard and with this much drive, and just you could tell the women were like, we're gonna win this. We're gonna bully them. We're gonna make this happen. And I don't know what special thing was said. I don't know if just the vibes are right. I don't know if the team in general is just like, I'm done getting draws. I'm ready to get these wins, or a mix of everything in between. But it's hard not to feel like we're in a really good place, at least coming out of break, right? I know that we're just getting back into the mix, and yes, grain of salt and all that. But I feel very good about going against Carolina in our next away game.
And it is nice to feel this way considering that last year where we felt like we had some momentum coming out of break as well. And then last year it just didn't. Yeah. So like now it feels like a little bit of vindication in a way.
Yes. Yeah. I 100% agree with that. And, if anything, it's a testament to what they were saying when we did the handoff, right? When Coach Mack and Coach Kos were doing the whole like talk together and being like, look, this is already left the tracks. Like all we're going to do is, just keep this going and then improve. And Coach Kos is going to put his stamp on it, but it's still got its soul. It's got its quality. It's got its identity. And now it's just a matter of tweaking some things and making it uniquely his, as much as he can in the middle of the season. And I feel much better about the shift right now. Right. And of course we still got to see what happens with the men's side, but for the women's side, I feel even after one match, I'm thoroughly convinced that the vibes are there, if anything. And that's all you really need. That's all you really need. You need vibes. I'm feeling up here. Thumbs up. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I think that's the problem last year. The vibes were wrong.
Yeah.
We had great players and they all were there for each other and playing for one another, but there was just a lot that was not going right around them, And then this year, I feel like it's very different. We have players that are supporting each other, good vibes. We have coaching staff, support staff, technical staff. Everybody is moving in the same direction. At least that's how it appears based on everything that we can see as fans. And I'm feeling very encouraged by that. We got this. Trophies coming.
For the Carolina game coming up, I did watch a bit of the Jacksonville Carolina game this past Saturday. And I mean, they were fairly neck and neck until the very end when Jacksonville scored. So, and we only have gone against Carolina once so far this season, and it was the 1-1 tie where they're like, we feel like we that was a game where we felt like it should have been a win, and we knew it wasn't their best performance. So I think going into this Carolina game, like I still feel like they need to be really focused. So I don't think it's a given necessarily, but I think, I think
the fight will be there.
Right.
Yeah. I agree with you. I don't think it's like a sure win because, Carolina's sitting in fourth. They've got 20 points. They're doing pretty solid. And like you said, that was one of those games where we were like, oh, that could have very easily been a Carolina win. And we eked it out. So I don't want to take that for granted.
Right.
I feel it was very important for us to get this big win off of Fort Lauderdale so that way we could go into Carolina feeling our best selves. And I think that'll be a really great test for us. They held off Jacksonville forever and ever and ever, and they're at the top of the table right now. So if we can crack that code that Jacksonville couldn't crack, and then maybe Jacksonville falters when they play next, flip the script when we take our spot back at the top. That's the thing that hurts my feelings the most, I think, is that how many wins we've left on the table and that we could definitely be dominating Jacksonville. But shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? At least we're still undefeated with our ridiculous streak. Like, it's insane. We've gone this long. Yeah.
We're 16 now?
Yeah, we're at 16.
Wow.
We're at 16 unbeaten, which wild.
Bonkers.
Now we just need to start doing these wins, right? Get more and more and more of these and then retake our spot at the top, win the Players Shield, win the league. Everybody and their brother celebrate, have a city parade. We can have our own float. It's really just we all jump in Jessica's minivan and ride with the doors open. We throw out CKL stickers. And we're like,
I'll hand out ice cream.
There you go.
Yeah. Throw ice cream into the crowd. Just use
scoop
like
it.
A little like catapult and fling it. It's like when you go get hibachi and they flip the shrimp at you and you're supposed to catch it. Same thing with your ice cream, except it'll be a full scoop. So good luck, people.
Also,
good luck. It's on you. Literally.
Too much of a good thing.
Special shout out.
Shout
out. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm in suspense.
You tell us.
My internet was lagging a little bit, so I wasn't sure if you guys were still talking. But special shout out to Maddie Parsons, former Green, for getting her first goal of the season. Very, very exciting.
Yeah. It was a very very similar to like Kat Berry's goals too, right? Somebody else had the ball flipped over. She was in the right spot like she does, and she finished because she's always in the right spot. So yeah, congrats, Maddie. We love seeing former Greens do their thing. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. All right. Got some stiff competition. We can do this though. Speaking of former Greens, we did have 2 players depart. From our squad. Both went to DC Power. So Justina Gaynor, she left. Hannah Richardson left. It was like a mutual thing between the club and the players. I'm sure it's a matter of, wanting some more playing time, which who wouldn't? You're a pro soccer player. You got to go somewhere that, you're going to get those minutes. And I'm sure our staff valued them. I'm sure the club valued them. But once you find your flow, you know how it is on teams. Like it's hard to break into the starting 11 to 18, even if you kind of got a really good thing going. But we wish them all the best, unless it's against us. So, love Hannah. We love Justino. We just don't want them to go drop 40 goals on Lexington Sporting Club. So don't do that. Okay. Promise. Pinky swear. I would like to say they were like, sure thing, Tyler. And they held up their pinky. The sign of goodwill, and we locked, and they're never going to do it to us. But no, it is a sad thing to see them go. Especially because like we didn't get to see a whole lot of Justina. She appeared a couple of times. She did a good job, I thought. Hannah, it was one of those things last season where she was in and out of the lineup, and she had these really cool flashes. Sometimes she was being used in weird ways, right? She was all over the field. Like one coach would be like, you were going to be an outside back. And one coach would be like, well, no, you're going to be a midfielder. And then somebody else would be like, no, you're going to be a striker. And I felt like it impeded her from finding her flow. We saw a couple matches where she found her flow, right? Like that one where we were all chanting for her to get a hat trick. She was so close to that hat trick, and we were losing our mind cheering her on because we were like, oh, she's going to get one. And it's a bummer that it didn't work out, that we didn't get to see much of her this season either. But I think she's got a solid future. Like she's going to be fine in DC. I hope they see the value in both of them and really give them a shot, because I think they're great players, and we'll be cheering them on mostly.
I agree with you. I feel like Hannah got kind of like a raw deal, because I feel like she did play well for us at times, and I just feel like she was in and out of the lineup in the first year, like you said, Tyler, and then this year I feel like she just didn't get like enough minutes at all to really showcase anything. And I know that we have a really good roster, but I definitely feel like DC can definitely use her, and she's talented enough for sure. As for Justina, I feel like it's a similar thing where I just didn't get to see enough of her to really like say one way or another. To see enough like value like I said, one way or the other. So I'm glad that both of them will get a chance to get more playing time, as both of them were mutual termination. So good on them.
True. I don't know. We got this. Women are gonna keep winning. Something that's not game related, but still, it's kind of cool. I know, Jessica, you for sure saw this. Dylan, this does not apply to Ollie. I know he is your child.
I was going to enroll him so I could benefit in the stuff. I could like take his
not allowed. Not allowed, Dylan. You can't do that. It's not the pups club. It's the kids club.
Imagine if they had the pups club.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be kind of cool. Pups club, official LSC dogs. Each game is a new dog mascot.
Premier League does the like Premier League mornings where like people post their like kids or their dogs like wearing gear. LSC should definitely do that too, like where people like post their dogs or their like kids and stuff, like getting ready for the game, and then like here's
Greens
the fans,
on game day.
Yeah. Oh, Tyler, Oh my God!
I'm on one tonight.
If someone
it's like
from
I'm a quarterback
LSU
and
listening
Tyler
right
just
now,
caught a pass in stride,
one-handed,
and touched. Yes,
but you threw it like 70
Greens
yards.
on game day.
Greens on game day. There
That's
you go.
perfect.
You're welcome,
Greens on
LSC
game day.
Marketing. We will not charge you anything because we can't. But no, for real, like, yeah, that would be kind of sick. That's a good idea, you all. Like greens on game day, and then everybody gets their like picks flowing, and then the club can share them, and then that increases engagement. Oh. Hey, what big brain. Gosh. I must have taken my Flintstone vitamins today or something. And same with you, Dylan. Just like
you're still just fired up over the Kentucky Thoroughblades.
I'm just imagining it over and over again. I'm like,
he never stopped sweating. Colors. Yeah,
real good in those colors. But anyway, we were getting at talking about the kids club that the club decided to roll out. I think it's kind of a cool deal. You know, especially like if your kids don't necessarily go to every single game. I know like mine don't go to every single one. Sometimes they're like, we love soccer and LSC, but we also love grandma and grandpa, and we'd rather hang out with them. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Fine. Whatever. Just betray me. But no, the kids club is kind of neat. It's like $35. Kids get a lanyard and a membership card, which is like a cool little memento, a t-shirt, a drawstring bag, free admission to 6 select matches. So correct me if I'm wrong. Just I know you probably looked at this even more intently than I have, isn't it? Like predetermined matches, like that they've already listed out. Yeah, I think they've already listed out the 6 that they can go to. On-field experiences, official kids club member certificate, monthly kids club email newsletter, which I don't know if that just goes to the parents because my kid's not gonna be checking his email. He's got a school email, and that's it. Discounted birthday package as well, which is cool. So. Lots of little perks for $35. I mean, 6 games alone for 35 is a pretty good deal. And then they get all the little extra swag. I think that's kind of neat. That's a great way to get more kids out and like get families feeling like, dang, like I want to go to this match, but I don't want to buy like season tickets for my kids because they don't necessarily always go to every match. Or, you know what I mean? I think that's kind of cool. I don't know. I'm seriously considering it for my kids. I'm not going to lie. Because they do fall into that category of they don't necessarily go to every single game. It's good. Look, Jessica already signed up her kids, signed up the neighbor kids, signed up the kids in the car line.
Nope.
Well, you didn't pay for them. You just like said, gave them their address and their credit card information.
Yeah.
Doing the club's work for free. Love it.
Like
she didn't
Greens
actually
on game
promise.
day.
Greens on game day. Greens on game day. Man, like so many, this whole like episode has just been great ideas. We're such big brains, you all. We're just such big brains.
We all took our Flintstone vitamins.
We did, and we're vibing. And so many ideas. Just I need to go back and just add a part at the beginning where I'm just saying, okay, LSC marketing, if you're listening, get your notepad now. Get it right now. Because there's going to be so many gems. But unfortunately, we're saying that at the end. So this will be the test if they listened all the way through and got great ideas or not. I guess we will never know. It's true. It's true. All right. You know how I am. I always forget things. I might have great ideas, but they're fleeting. And my memory is not great. Is that all? Is all we got, guys?
Yeah, that's all on the agenda. Yeah.
That's the vibe. Okay. All right. Perfect. I was concerned Jessica was looking for something, so I was like,
I thought
she was going to pull out a sign to signal to me, like, don't forget to mention Greens on game day and a Thoroughblades jersey and Dylan's ice cream. We got them all. We covered them. Check.
Hit all the points.
Check. All right. What we got? A bye week for the women? Is that right?
Nope.
No,
losing my mind.
Saturday at 2.
Saturday at 2. Why am I thinking of bye week? Brain no work. Okay, so Saturday at 2, another early match away again. So that's coming up. We, of course, have our preseason matches still rolling for the men's side, although those, as far as I know, unless there's some sneaky thing happening, I don't think a single one of those is being streamed anywhere or open to the public. I think the only one that's open to the public is the Fort Wayne one that's on February 27th. So we got One Knocks up next. Boo. scars of the past. February 7th, we're playing them. February 14th, we're playing Nashville, which, another MLS club. We'll see if they roll out their first teamers or not. Then we got Pittsburgh on the 21st, Fort Wayne 27th. Definitely mark down Fort Wayne since we get to go to that. Like that's going to be fun. I hope that that's a blast and we actually get to see some solid soccer. I know last year I couldn't go to the one that was open to the public, and I know that you guys said that it was very everybody playing at 30%.
Yeah, kind of anticlimactic.
It was really boring soccer.
Yeah, which I'm sure we won't see everybody playing at 1,000,000%, but maybe we'll at least get to see them playing at 65, 70%. I don't know, something like that. 67%. We'll split the difference.
Hey, 50% would be nice to see.
Hey, yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. But we got plenty of time to kind of work out the kinks in between now and the home opener with Lou City. Single match tickets went on sale for the Lou City game too. It sounds like a lot of them are getting bought up pretty quick. So I will not be surprised at all if we have a pretty packed house for that one. I think that's
I'm already a LSC 1 member, so I'm already.
We all are.
Tickets.
We got this. We're locked in. We're locked in. We're gonna be there no matter what. We're all set. All right. Yeah, Jess.
And first women's home game back on the
Valentine's
14th.
Day.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, Schmalentine's.
Will you tell my wife that, Jessica? Will you tell her that for me?
Everyone's always the 14th is always super busy. Everyone's going out to dinner. Do something different. Come to a soccer game. Do dinner on the 15th when it's not going to be as crazy. You know?
What is more romantic than freezing in the middle of February and getting to cuddle up next to the person you love?
Exactly.
And share body warmth. So that way you don't catch hypothermia or something because it might be really cold. We'll see. I don't know. These last few weeks have been kind of intense. Maybe it will lighten up. And by the 14th, it'll be 35 at least. Yeah. As opposed to 15 with wind chills taking it down to -7 or whatever silly thing we've been going through. Good plug, Jess. All right. I think that wraps it up. I think that's all we have for this week. Until the next time when we just have to speculate about preseason matches for the men. And we get to actually talk about the real deal, unfortunately. And then talk about another dub for the women. Yes?
Heck yeah.
It's going to be a dub. It's what it's going to be. All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, until next time, you know what it is. Come on, you greens.